सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Our intention today here is to offer our experiences and how it can help you, whatever help you need. And with me, there are 4 other panelists who would answer your questions. If you have any questions, you can put in the chat box. And they will also share their experience when they had to deal a kind of a situation you are in today. With the panel, Indu Agarwal, Pramila Agarwal. Panelists, are you guys ready? So the first question is, have you experienced layoff? And how did it impact you physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually? Whatever you remember in your long span of your professional career.
There was a layoff that happened, and this was my first time. I had no idea what is the meaning of that. Should I run around and start looking for another job, or was there something that I could do within the company? And fortunately, what I realized is that they actually gave us 3 months, and they gave us training within the company where we could upscale our skill set. And eventually I was able to find much better job within the company. So in this case, it turned out to be a great experience that, it was just that division that had gone into a change, and they had stopped producing that product. So it turned out to be a, not so bad of a change, at least for me at that time.
Thank you so much, Indu. Anyone else would like to answer that?
So I have experienced layoff twice. One was pretty long ago, in which I think my division kind of merged with another company's division, and so they chose a different business model, and slowly, people I could see leaving, and that was kind of disheartening. I felt bad in actually having a job for some time, but when I felt laid off, maybe I kind of felt a little better, because not every, I was also in the same boat. And at that point in time, my career took a pivot. So because my son was not doing well at all, and that seemed to be a point to focus on that aspect in my life. And the second time I got laid off, it was my group, the whole group. They decided to, basically spin off the whole company. So we were all laid off together, but it still felt quite bad and rejected. But I understood that, I could actually, sit down and be able to get another job and find another fun group of people to work with. So yeah, there were 2 different kind of layoffs for me.
Thank you so much, Pramila, for your wonderful thoughts. Nirmal, please.
Yeah, so first of all, I think what's really important is to internalize this, whatever event that is happening, and figure out what is in your control and what is not in your control. So if an event has happened, meaning if you've got your job loss or some other, that has happened. That's not in your control to go back and change. So figure out what's in your control, which is now what steps do I take. So the steps you take is reaching out to people. Sometimes it's hard to reach out to people, but those are the steps that you need to take. I think I will give a couple of examples to kind of drive the point home. And in my personal experience, I use that a lot of times, even smaller setbacks or bigger setbacks. So in Japan there is this art called kintsugi. Some of you might know about it. So if you have a dish and you accidentally drop it, it breaks into pieces. And it's a setback if you had an expensive dish. But in Japan there is this tradition of putting it all together, and in fact actually filling the joints with golden color. So whatever the art that comes out at the end is actually better than your original dish. And the point is that how do we find opportunities in the scenarios when we have this something called setback, and opportunity could be that you never could take a month off that you've always wanted to do, or the opportunity could be that there is a job change that maybe you were hesitant to do, and now there's an opportunity for you to go and look at. So how do you turn this into a positive energy?
Yes.
Last thing I would say is that I'm a big fan of an Indian poet called Kabir that you probably all know. And there is Kabir had one doha where he says, "Bhala hua meri matki phuti, main paniya bharan se chuti hai, mere sar se tali bala." What he is trying to say is that in the mundane, sometimes by breaking through in the mundane, you actually get to the super mundane. And that's that I would close with that. Thank you.
Sunit, please go ahead.
Yeah, so great points, Nirmal, you mentioned. I'm going to build up on some of the points you just outlined. For what I would suggest is the first and foremost thing is so whatever has happened. Make a budget, make a plan. Like what is your runway? That how far you can take it without worrying, because the first and foremost thing is, okay, your paycheck will not be coming every 2 weeks. What are your expenses? And make a plan, like you want to extend your savings for the next 3 months. So see what things you can cut out from your lifestyle. So that's the first and foremost thing. Make the financial management. The second thing is, like Nirmal also said, that there has been times where you wanted to do certain things. So bring that positivity inside you. Like do something which you always desire to do. Like it could be a physical like endurance. You wanted to go for hiking or running activity, or participate in a triathlon or even 5K run. So make a plan and you work towards it on a daily basis. That will keep you positivity and keep yourself going. And the third and most important thing is networking. It's the power of networking. When I got laid off, I did not get job by just applying on LinkedIn. We see so many glittery stones out there that, oh my God, there are so many openings. I'll keep on applying day in, day out. But the only positive outcome you get is like through a referral. So reach out to the people, and hopefully there are openings in their companies, and try to reach out to the hiring manager directly. And I'll close out with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunit. And now,
So, just like Nirmal was saying, that when a transition happens and it becomes a place of fear, and we think that the comfort zone that we were in is suddenly lost. But also, that's where the progress comes in. So the first thing to start out with is face your emotional state. Yes, fear is one, anger could be another one. So just become aware of it and see how do you manage it. Just observe it, and once you have seen that, and you can get to the point where you say, okay, this has happened, okay, but this also may be a place of reflection. Half of us, or I don't know what is the percentage of people who are not even happy in the jobs they are doing, but they can never think of leaving the job. But now, if this has happened, take it as a point of reflection and maybe a great point of transition. Maybe think about if there was another path that you could take. Maybe you want to start a business, and may get into a totally different place, and you could be a lot more happier there. So just, face those fears and get to the point that, look into something better that could come out of it. The reason I say that from a personal experience is that when I faced layoff, I said, okay, let me go back to another corporate job. But then I took some time and I said, but I have done enough of the same old. Maybe this is the time that I take my passion and make that a profession. And that's what worked out much better for me, and I started my own business and I feel a lot happier. So don't forget to, have that moment of being out of the comfort zone and maybe getting into a totally different place of satisfaction. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so much, Indu. And who would like to go next?
I can go next. Taking it from Indu, from where she was. So, layoffs can be very hard. It's a kind of a loss of identity, loss of connection, things that you're used to, people you're working with, and there's a sense of a rejection too. You feel like a loser. So, and it's hard to get out of that emotional state. So one thing I would recommend is, again, establishing a pattern, a routine in your life. Again, it could be hiking, and it could be also, working in a separate area away from home, so you don't have a chance to, go into your own self and establish that routine and connect with people, sometimes proactively, sometimes just be open to it. Once you get into an open space, then like you do your own work, a routine, and the work will follow itself, because you're used to working. You're used to working for a company. Now you're just working for yourself, and that's where, as Nirmal said, like more opportunities or a chance to better yourself comes up too. It could be business, it could be a different vocation, and I know a neuroscientist who kind of talks about it's all about reinventing yourself every 9 years too, like a cat. So it's hard to see it as an opportunity, but life has given you a pivot or an opportunity, how you choose to see it. Thanks.
And listening to all of you, I have just one story which is coming to mind. Is the story of a farmer who has one horse, and that horse ran away. So all the neighbors came and said, "Oh, we are such bad news, you lost your horse." And he said, "That's the way it is." And then it turned out that the horse went and got 10 other 15 horses, and the whole herd came back. Again, the neighbors got together and they said, "Oh, wow, such a great news." He said, "So it is." And then his son was riding one of the horse. He fell down and broke his leg. Again, neighbors came and said, "Such bad news." He says, "Yeah, so it is." And then it turned out that the soldiers came and they were recruiting people for army, and his son was spared because he had a broken leg. So again, neighbors came and say, "Well, such good news." So he said, "So it is." So what that story has taught me is that good and bad is the meaning we give through our lenses. So every time I have faced such situations or any transitions in my life, I always change. I have a pair of glasses which has no lenses. I put that on and I say, let me look at the situation from a new lens. And once you start looking at the same situation with a new lens, the whole paradigm changes. And now you begin to see what the Chinese word danger and opportunity, why they have the same word for that. So this may be a great opportunity, and this may be a great opportunity for you to really do what you want to do, or to heal yourself, if it's a personal loss or something like that. And finally, the third thing which comes to my mind is that how you can take this opportunity and do something with that. And so there is a very good question that you can ask yourself. If you only have 1 year to live, what is it which you want to do in that year? And that will really bring you to the crux of what you want to do in your life. And this may be a best opportunity for you to make it happen. Because on their deathbed, as the Harvard study pointed out, most people don't worry about what the sales revenue were, whether they met the target or not, but they always remember what was most important to them and they were able to achieve it or not. So with that, we are all here for you. And if you want to reach out to us, you have our email, our contact address, and we'll all be very happy to serve. And now I ask our host, Raj, who opened his heart and his home, what his thoughts are about this. So Raj, would you please share your thoughts?
Yeah. Hello everyone. Although it sounds like a setback, I would treat it as a silver lining in some difficult situation, so to speak. It's actually It's an opportunity to probably pursue your passion, something like you maybe wanted to make a short movie or take a vacation, read a book, or binge watch your Netflix series. So I would say just forget what happened, de-stress, relax, unwind, and I build on what other people have said here. Look at your network. Applying rage application is a new word. Rage applying may not help, may help, but going to referral always works. Because the company, the manager or the team already trusts who is already working there. If that person refers someone else, he kind of already sold. They will just do some final checks and get you in. So that's the best way to go. So tap your network and look at your portfolio and look at the market and see if your skill set is not in demand. You can learn. So opportunities are abound. Never get frustrated. It's not your fault. First of all, you have to remember that getting laid off is not your fault. It is company's fault. They did not manage their performance, their revenues, their demand, whatever human resource demand properly, and suddenly they say we don't need you. So it's not your fault. It is their fault. So never feel bad about being laid off. Don't even think about it is something of lowering your value. Don't care. I got a break. I'm doing something else. You can upskill. So I took discrete mathematics class from MIT Open Courseware. I feel a lot more comfortable with speaking about algorithms and efficiency and so on. So you can do that. Tap your network and don't hesitate to ask for help. We are here to help you, and we can connect with our network. We can help you with which skills are in demand, or where to find those resources for free. Most of our high quality resources are available on the net, and some are you can pay and get a certificate just to put on LinkedIn so that recruiters can see that certificate. You can reach out for various things like emotional support or technical help, like a career path advice, what skills to learn, what skills are in demand. So that's where I will end my thoughts. Om Jahu Shantirantarikshavam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapa Shanti Oshadaha Shanti